Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2, a highlight Protoss versus Zerg from the Dreamhack Last Chance qualifiers for the low price of liking and subscribing. We'll sell you the whole seat. But for this match, you'll only need the edge. Let me introduce, in the top right, the up-and-coming Protoss, embodying everything it is to be this aggressive, powerful race. Of course, Storm Gaming's Danish Protoss, MaxPax. He gets up in your face and acts like he owns the place, but no pushover on the other side. The first non-Korean player to win a world championship. The most stable, solid, and inspirational Zerg player in the history, potentially, of StarCraft 2. But is he stable, solid, and inspirational enough to defend what's coming in the production tab to his side of the map? Of course, we're talking about NC Sports, Finnish Zerg, Serral. Yeah, that's a forge. That's a probe. Let's get into it. Here on Glittering Ashes, able to jam yourself into the corner. But wait, we're not done. You've heard that Stalkers can blink. You've heard that DTs can blink. But did you know? Well, he didn't actually do the little probe teleport trick. The cannons start. A second probe just to make sure, in case the commitment was not shown and verified. Oh my god, Serral started a third. He actually started off center. Nerves. Serral making an uncharacteristic mistake. 75 minerals gone. I'm not sure how much time was on that expansion, but obviously a bit of a stressful situation. Two cannons. MaxPax. Two cannons on the hatch. Serral not producing anything of note. Well, he's got some drones on the way, so that means he's not interested in breaking this. The cannons are already entrenched. The hatchery, at this point, seems likely it will die. A handful of Zerglings to make sure the probes don't get any more frisky intentions. But you know probes. Or they know you. An adept coming across. I want to point out, this is by no means the end. It is just the beginning. The cannons are the first step along the... Oh my god, the Broodling micro kills a probe! Thankfully for MaxPax, he has a second one, but the Broodlings pop out, and in their short, angry lives, will slaughter the probe that created them. An adept... Oh my... It almost looks like it can pop through there. A shield battery from the second probe. Yeah. It doesn't end here. There's a Nexus on the other side. Serral sees all of this. He has the vision. He can even see the Stargate. There are only so many pylons to go around. Adept shading back and forth. Slow Zergling's going to have an incredibly tough time catching up to them and dealing with them. All they can do is try to deflect them for now. Gets a drone evolution chamber block in the main. Serral pulling out all the stops, literally and figuratively. And right now, this leaves us in such a kind of an awkward impasse. We have MaxPax creating a forward operating outpost here. He has a shield battery, he has cannons, he's got a Stargate producing an Oracle, which won't be a revelation to Serral, as he can see in that Stargate. He can't see the little icon, but he can see the outline. Oh, the Zerglings get us around. Snap up in Adept. The other one gets back all on its own. The Oracle comes out. Serral has a Roach Warren now done. Everything towards the back of his base. He was trying to hide the Roach Warren. Or at least making it not vulnerable to cannons. Maybe a bit of both. Oracle comes into the third. Two queens. Drive it. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Get off my lawn. Oh, all right, Karen. Okay. Calm down. Well, that Oracle strayed a little bit too close to the queens, who are still reeling from the massive photon-based thorns in their side. A roach slips by the ramp. Gets a few love taps from the cannon. A whole lot of Zerglings. Ravagers here. 4 more gates on the way back at home for MaxPax. A 5th gate at the front. Not the MaxPax build we know and maybe love, but instead, a proxy gate to be able to warp in at maximum speed. The shield battery keeping the cannon intact. A slow warping of a Stalker. A single Ravager. 2 more on the way. Void Ray coming down to take advantage of this more defensive position. The Ravagers, of course, don't have a direct counter to it. The Queens, obviously, much more capable. Drones transferring under fire. Corrosive vials landing on the cannon. More shield batteries at the back. A Twilight Council on the way. It doesn't get much more Protoss than this. We have cannons, shield batteries, a Void Ray, the continued proxy, 1 Queen assassinated. And a cannon, the Stalker, getting caught by Speedlings. The terrestrial bounds do not affect the Void Ray. Another Void Ray in the main, melting through an extractor. And the Warpins will continue. A shield battery should go down momentarily. Serral's got to take that one out. He actually knocks out a shield battery before... Oh, the probe! Oh! What a save! And Serral going for a Nidus network here, which I don't know how effective it's going to be with this many gates on the field. A pylon was targeted, but there's multiple pylons. Zealots on the way. Just there for buffer. It feels like Serral should be able to dislodge this, but every time he pokes towards the cannons, suddenly from the back, Void Rays, which will spot the Nidus network. The Void Rays will see the Nidus, and immediately MaxPax puts as much vision up into his main as he can. Charges up the Void Ray, doesn't do extra damage to the Ravagers, but can help knock down and melt through any roaches. There's still the 2 Void Rays off to the left flank. An Adept is shading into the 3rd. MaxPax is still entrenched. He still has the probe. Kill the probe. Save the base. He's going for the probe. He finally gets it. He got him. But at what cost? The Zealots warping in as well. A single Void Ray. Now has 7 kills. Void Rays in the main. Looks like they melted through a Spore Crawler with that prismatic alignment. The Queens are still going to work. A couple shield batteries being drained of energy, but not quite fast enough. Trying to target down a Ravager Cocoon. It's not enough. The Void Ray goes all the way off the edge of the map, and the cannons are still firing. 9 kills, 10 kills. A Knight... Serral! This isn't the Brood War. Serral, you weren't even old enough to remember the Brood War. He's barely older than it. MaxPax was born after. But a Nidus into his own main to try to bypass this. Maybe a little bit of an afterthought because he's broken the front. But now we can transfer those Queens a little bit more quickly. And that Nidus network is connected across the entire map. A Nidus into the 3rd, and not in time. The Queens pop out. And they heal it up. We have arrived. It's a Queen walk, but of the Warp Gate-like variety. The Nidus network teleporting those Queens across the map. More, of course, MaxPax warps in more Zealots, but the network brings him home to the main. He's got networks all over the map. Systems admin Serral here, keeping track of everything, and MaxPax is now forced back to 2 base, which is all he really had, though it kind of felt like he had 2.5 for a while there. Serral will be able to take his 3rd at his natural 9 minutes into the match. Where does this leave us? 11 Queens, 12 Queens, 6 Void Rays, and 9 Zealots. A nice composition. And the Queens themselves are not the deadly creatures, at least attacking into a defensive position. They provide the anti-air support, but against charge lots, it does become difficult. Another Nidus to the left flank. The Void Ray's looking around. +1 air weapons is in production for MaxPax. Zealot's looking for an opportunity, but Serral has consolidated his forces. He's using the Niduses. They're not cheap, but maintaining that ability. Wow. We have arrived! The full knitting crew, Brenda and company. The entire cast has assembled. Wow. Let me see, everyone's here. They've called... that people will be linking this clip for years to come. As the entire cast will now march forward. Roaches and Ravagers and other expendable creatures who don't get individual names or any list on the poster. Zealots, select all army hotkey back! Or something of the sort. The night of a few Zerglings slip in. 3 drones went down, actually. And suddenly, well, the worker count is only 39 drones for Serral. The knitting crew, slowly but surely, as they don't really have any choice, marching off of creep. The Void Ray is falling back to the shield batteries. The Queen's energy outstrips them. The Roaches and Ravagers throwing up corrosive bile, hoping it lands somewhere, but at least forcing the Void Rays back. The Queen still chipping away at the shields. On the Nexus, shield battery overcharge used, the pylon well protected, prismatic alignment burns through a few Roaches. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, a few Zealots dispatched by the Roaches left behind. The Nexus stripped of shields. Serral actually taking his sweet time in dealing with it, getting a few probes for his troubles. A Dark Shrine, a Disruptor, and a Void Ray in production. Honest, at this point, it feels like MaxPax is just stereotyping Protoss. But the double Ds of disaster joining the Void Rays to establish their legacy. The mini-map is a bit of a mess. That's a Zealot. That's a probe. Obviously, this is the place to expand as MaxPax works towards a bingo 4 corners victory. Another probe out here will scout one of the Niduses. Creep, left behind from earlier activities, will continue to spread across the field from both sides. Legend has it, when the creep touches, disaster. Armageddon for the Protoss. A Disruptor, though, will stave it off. A Hive is on the way. Incredibly quick for someone who just passed 50 drones and only recently has stably got 3 bases up and running. A Zealot. A single Zealot, usually inconsequential, but a not insignificant portion of the economy being destroyed and drawing queens back across the map. Usually there's never just one. Like, seeing one Zealot means there will be more, but in this case it was just one. Because the rest you won't see, because the rest are DTs. And Serral, because this game has been so hectic and Void Rays actually snipe spores, has no detection at the natural. He was reliant on the queens. 6 drones down in the last minute. Void Ray is at the front. Down a handful of supply, but the Void Rays are able to force the Zerg army to partition into 2 bite-sized portions. And right now, the Disruptors are hungry. Chases a queen, doesn't quite clip it, burns through the Hydralisk end before any upgrades can complete. No Hydras here. The Void Ray Disruptor army, he's stripped out everything but the most dangerous units, which in most cases will leave him wanting. But here, there's nothing that can actually chase this reliably. Like, the Void Rays will burn the Roaches. There's long-distance mining happening because of the creep. A single creep tuber up against the edge. What is this army? Oh my. Meanwhile, Parasitic Bomb. Oh, that's a lot of damage on the Void Rays. He's not splitting. Oh my god, so many of the Void Rays, and you can't repair those. There is no right to repair for the Protoss. The Roach is obliterated by another massive Disruptor hit. But the damage to the Void Rays was immense. He only lost 3, but so many of them are badly bruised, and once they, well, with that much HP, even the queens will make short work of them. Okay, well, now that we're here, MaxPax technically on 4 bases, as is Serral. The worker counts unnervingly even. This creep tumor is still scouting everything that's coming out of the base. 2 Tempests in production. A Templar archive, so we get both of the key flavors. The Roaches will find the bottom right base by accident or by... I think they were looking for the proxy pylon where these Roaches came from. They found it. I mean, where the DTs came from, rather. Well, Void Rays yanked in and knocked down by the Hydralisks. What a mess of a match. Serral seems to be consolidating his position. Transfusing drones on the left flank. But it's not over yet. The Void Rays can't decide what they want. They go for the hatch. The largest but most valuable target. Hydras and Queens closing in. Disruptors trying to chew into it. The transfuses! And no! He dug too deep and too greedily. He went for the hatchery. He could have gotten the Evo. He could have gotten the Nidus. And he could have gotten away. But instead, he gets his Void Ray count decimated. He gets a few Queens and Hydras for his trouble. But now MaxPax has gotten himself in an incredibly uncomfortable position. Serral, 65 drones and counting. He's finally reached that stable macro position. He's gotten everything he wants now. He's struggled, he's scratched, and he's clawed for it, depending on what range away the Hydras are. But now MaxPax has all the frills and none of the meats. The Zealot count is non-existent. The Disruptors take meaty chunks. But there's just too much overrunning the field. The Hydralisk taking out probes and Disruptors and Void Rays alike. Another Disruptor finding a good connection, but you do need something to put in front. The Tempests just aren't the frontline units, neither are the Ruptors. DT's looking for opportunities. MaxPax is down 80 supply. He does have the most force multiplier of unit compositions. He's got Tempest, Disruptor, and he has access to Templar. High Templar. Alright, just to be clear. All Dark Templar or Templar 2? Okay. Once the High Templar got almost wiped out, they decided to accept that. But Storm is on the way. The most expensive possible units. He's going to need to land the juiciest Disruptor hits. The Tempest could technically snipe the Overseers, and then he could warp in DTs for the ultimate cheesy strat. It looks like that's actually what he's going for here. He's looking for the Viper, could get a feedback. The Tempest targeted on it, not enough. The Hydras are closing the distance. He can't afford to lose this Nexus. He has almost no more mineral patches. Another shot. Feedback hits the Viper. Going the wrong way. Zealots in front. Just shot down by the Hydras. A handful of Zerglings again. Disruptor's looking for an opportunity. Tempest can't fire fast enough. The Disruptor takes too long to cool down. And Serral is closing in. I don't know, a few drones died on the other side, maybe a DT. The Queens have survived throughout all of this. The shield battery overcharge. Oh my god. Oh, sweet. Okay. Well, the Disruptor goes down. Somehow Serral does not win the game, but instead is rebuffed once again. But there's no coming back from this one. MaxPax has fought one of the most Protoss matches I have ever seen. But Serral takes home the victory. What a roller coaster. Serral able to somehow thread the needle with the Nidus networks and with the Queens and everything else. MaxPax somehow keeping up the aggression despite the cannon rush essentially being shut down at the natural. What a clash of styles this match is and has been. But I hope you enjoyed this highlight. I know mostly I like to show full series, but sometimes I see a match and I just want to get it out there. Of course, it's already been out there, the Dreamhack Last Chance. Make sure to tune in. I am Katowice. Make sure to tune in to more of the games right here. Thank you for watching. I hope I made your day a little bit better. Good luck, have fun. Stay chill.